2019 tax year, and we had a meeting from 8 to 9. He never called in, so I got to get that resolved. But
Yeah.
she's open to being my CPA. She said the only gap she has, and she'll learn it, is just the state tax laws,
Right.
which shouldn't be. She said shouldn't be too complicated to figure out with that. So
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm sorry you've got you're having, issues with that CPA. That is it sucks. But hopefully you can get that resolved quick. I know that's a pain in the butt because there's nothing we can do about it. When you don't know the tax code and you don't know how to do all that stuff, you're at the
yeah,
mercy of somebody else.
right, right. And I looked yesterday just um, to look at my Social Security benefits and all that, and it didn't dawn on me. But it pulls up and it's like, you didn't earn anything last year? Is that correct? And I'm like, holy cow! It's just a reminder of like, this sucks. So I'm gonna get that resolved, and
Yeah.
then we're not going down that path again.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to working with Alicia on that for sure.
Okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. She's a rock star, and she tells you she's open with you. She tells you, "Hey, I don't know the Mississippi state income tax," or
Right.
she'll tell you, and then which I love about her. Like I don't, I'll ask her a question about a tax thing or a business structure, and a lot of times she'll go, I don't know for certain. Let me find out and get back to you.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You get back to me with the correct answer versus some BS answer, and then I make a mistake.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna, so I appreciate that with her.
Yeah. Very
You'll
much
see
so.
that. So tell me about, you said the business set up, you're ready to get moving, kind of debriefing on, like, I guess let's catch me up with the call that we all did with Bill and Chantel and
Yeah.
what y'all did afterwards and the thoughts flowing, all that good stuff.
Yeah. We've actually we stayed. He stayed there till 2 o'clock that afternoon, and we were just spitballing everything. And then he and I met yesterday, as a matter of fact, as well. So, uh, by the way, when we got off of it, he's like, best Zoom call I've ever been on.
No way.
He and Bill, as you can tell, he's a great storyteller, huge people person.
Yeah.
Um, that's he said I need to write a book on how to bullshit corporate America, because he made a career out of bullshitting through his career. But it's but it's but it's all about the relationships, and he can sell anything, and the but he did tell me, and he may have said it in the call. He's like, typically I go into these things, you call me and you tell me about this guy Will and this organization, and where the what that might do in relation to the things that he and I's been talking about for years. He's like, I was a little skeptical. He said, but best Zoom call I ever been on. He's Skepticism isn't there, so he he appreciates the uh we talk about diversity a lot here. It's a big corporate buzzword, but he appreciates the diverse backgrounds. You're in Austin, Chantel's in Phoenix. It's that vibe of getting outside of our cave here, so to speak, and figuring out there's new way of doing things. There's better way of doing things. Let's seek it out and see what opportunities we got there. So he and I met. I think the avatar made total sense to him. The He and I have actually already kind of nailed out a somewhat of an outline of what to go do. Did he share about an experience he had the day before our meeting at a nurse practitioner's office?
With Michelle.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, he
Yeah.
talked about that.
Okay. So he actually left my shop yesterday. Was heading to going to do two things. Uh, one of his rock star uh, leaders at the hospital he was working at still calls him every week, and she really has drank the Kool-Aid and still mentors with Bill. But she's just now been made responsible for standing up. She's the vice president over all of the clinics that are attached to that hospital, and then she's been tasked to stand up a clinic just 10 miles down the road from Corinth here. Long story short, she's going to have 17 clinics underneath her, and they're taking that model of put the nurse practitioners in, and then you got the doctors that are overseeing several of these clinics, and they're auditing, making sure they're following what they're supposed to do. And the doctor is spending a little bit of time and still getting a little bit of money, but yet they're still concentrating on their practice.
Yeah.
They're increasing their revenue by doing that, and it's not requiring a lot of time. But those nurse practitioners, those clinics, I think they all struggle. Bill thinks they all struggle, similar to his conversation he had with Michelle. So he's calling. He was going to, on his drive, he was going to call Dion's her name, and talk to her about the needs. There's almost two different things, and y'all said something that made sense. When you go to a business, you need to know their problems better than they know their problem.
Yep.
And so he was going to get some insight to that from her, kind of from the inside. We, fortunately, that's been to a nurse practitioner's office or clinic, we can create the voice of the customer from the outside. We've been a customer. What's our experience? But a lot of times and I'm going to say all the time, that experience, the external customer is going to have a different experience than that internal customer or that internal business need. So he was going to kind of get some intel from her. What's those critical few business needs that these clinics are facing? On his way there, he was going to stop by Michelle's office and have a conversation with her and basically say, he and I want to partner with her, build a pilot program, probably even do it for free, just to figure it out. But try to help her in managing her time better, so that she's not stressing herself out and doing those things. So we've got us a little leadership plan. We've also got a little, I call it back to basics, a little back to basics plan put together that tried and true tools that we've utilized in improving overall efficiencies in manufacturing and different things like that that'll work in any aspect of life. My thing is, you do it in your TikToks. My thing is I can almost say the TikTok video. Would you like to have 20% efficiency gains in your business?
Yes.
And every opportunity I've had in my career, there's just a few things you can go and do when the grass is green, right? When nobody's been mowing, there's a few things you can go and do, and you can get efficiencies almost instantly, 10 to 20% improvement. And what does that mean? What does a 20% improvement mean? I'll use a little bit of Caterpillar words here. If you dug ditches for a living and you had a Caterpillar backhoe, and we have this thing called contamination control. If you get contaminants in your hydraulic system and you're reaching out digging ditches with your backhoe, but those contaminants does not allow you to stop your boom at the right place. So you try to stop it in the center. I don't know if you can see my hand.
Yeah.
Try to stop it in the center, but because of those contaminants, I overshoot it by 6 inches, and then I have to bump it back. You time that. If you can figure that out and take that bumping out, and it stops when you want it to stop, 20% improvement means you don't have to work on a Friday. You can get your work done Monday through Thursday. Because if you take a full week, 5-day work week, if you can improve it 20%, I can be done on Thursday and go fishing on Friday, whatever the case might be.
And get the same amount of work done in less time.
That's right. And so, little things like in a doctor's office, little arrows, little things on the floor. You got people, the older people might stop the receptionist or might stop the doctor or a nurse. How do I get out of here? Well, that may take 1 minute. 1 minute's no big deal, but if you're seeing 50 customers a day, that 1 minute is equal to 50 minutes.
Mm.
And so go to a doctor or business office, whoever, and says, if you can just shave 1 minute off per customer, that's between a 50-minute time frame and a 10-minute break. That's an hour, right? If I can save you an hour, what can you do with an hour? Tell Michelle ask her, what can you do in an hour?
Yeah.
Maybe she gets home to her kids at 5:30 instead of 6:30, right?
Yep.
So those are just things that from the back to basic side we can do, but there's some leadership input into that as well. And so point is, and I've rambled there, but point is we've kind of put together a little model of what that would look like to go to that business. But in order for us to really hone that, what the need is, we got to do some learning and some research, and that's kind of where we are right now.
Gotcha. I think there's a lot of potential. I was talking with Chantel after the call, and like there's a couple of things. There's so many different avenues that you could go, but the most amazing thing that y'all have is that you already know the problem in this really large marketplace. And two, you've already got these connections built, which is a tremendous advantage. Bill can already walk into the office, two people. I know Michelle, and then the other person, he's going to call on the road. What was her name?
Dion.
He's already got great relationships with these people. You've already got two customers. I think, I think it's okay to do it for free. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also think it might be okay if you ask them to just cover expenses. So that they have skin in the game, or even a really low fee. Like, hey, this is typically going to be a $30,000 program that we're going to do.
Right.
And, in a 20% efficiency, like you can show them that even at $30,000 or whatever the price tag is going to be, it's totally worth the cost. But for you, we're going to do it for X number of dollars.
Right.
And that just covers expenses. But we do that so you have skin in the game.
Sure.
So that when we call, you're like, hey, I'm paying these guys. I better take this call so I get my value. It just
sure.
So I think, but I totally understand the free thing. There's nothing wrong with that too.
Yeah, just to kind of do the pilot, and it would only come up. I've talked about that. I mean, you're just going to get a little bit of a nugget, and if that nugget is proven, they're going to want to pay for the other opportunity.
Yes.
So, and that just kind of helps us kind of wiggle our way through. How does this look?
Right.
I think there's some element too. You can't get too deep into it because you'll wind up having a part-time job, so to speak. And what I mean by that is you got your time and your energy spent to this customer, which is fine, right? But do you get the impact from that you're needing? There may be other customers that's needing your time as well. But the whole principle of this too would be is they need to learn this and execute it themselves. They're not hiring us full time. They're not hiring us they need to learn the principles and follow the recipe.
Yeah. So here's the three things I want you to write down. And you want to communicate this with them. There's do it for yourself, which is like the first level. There's the do it for yourself, which is basically I hand you a book, you read the book, you do it on your own. There's do it with you, which is level 2. That means you're going to do it with you. And then there's done for you, which is level 3. That's where you and Bill come in and do everything.
Right.
Now, if you're going to do it all, then that's the highest price you have. The do it yourself, which is the lowest, that's a cheaper option, but it establishes the relationship. If you're going to do it yourself, then we'll come in, we're going to teach you, we're going to give you our systems, our processes, all the stuff you need to do it for yourself. But we're disconnected. So it's not
Yeah.
a part-time job.
Right. Right.
So that's the 3 steps. And you establish that in the beginning. So the expectation is set. So like, I'll help you, but don't call me at 9 o'clock at night. You
Right.
open up your book kind of thing.
Sure.
Or if you want to call me at 9 o'clock at night, there's this option kind of
Right.
thing. So, but you've got to, that's the three levels that establish that expectation out of the gate. And some people don't, like, if they're a nurse practitioner, if they're a doctor or whatever, they don't have the time to do it themselves, or the staff is at capacity already. Well, that's okay. We'll come in and do it with you. We'll train your staff. We'll get them to do it, but it's going to be more expensive. And they'll go, I'm okay with that. I will pay for speed. Like there's
Right.
not, but does that help you kind of get
Yeah.
established? Okay.
Yep. No,
So-
that makes total sense.
Yeah. And that cures all that stuff. But I think y'all got a tremendous advantage, and I think you can do a couple of different things. Like whenever you go in, you can ask them if it's okay. Like if you film some of the training you're going to do with the staff, especially if it's going to be free, you can film some of it. You just set up a camera on a tripod, you capture that stuff, and then you can use that content if you want to. Like Chantel and I were talking, you're in such a great market that you don't necessarily have to do social media. You can if you want to, which can generate future leads for you. It can generate all kinds of other future digital stuff that you can sell. It can you can create like a digital video course, all kinds of stuff that is just passive income for you. That if you're already going to be there, if you're already going to be teaching anyway, you might as well record it.
Yeah.
And have it for social media marketing or selling later. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's so many opportunities for you guys to be, and you already see it, to be successful, to make money, and build that. So anyway, and so Chantel and I'll send you some stuff later, but if y'all want, I've got an information page. We're going to do, so generally we've got a $25,000 coaching program where we teach you from A to Z. And that includes 2 events. We have like an event in the beginning, and I think we're probably going to do it the first week of March. It's up in the air. We've got, like, I'm going to New Mexico in a couple of weeks, and then Chantel and I are going to Boise. Then she's going to Hawaii, and then when she gets back, then we're going to have that time. So then the beginning workshop, it's like a 2-day event. It's all expenses are paid. We rent a home somewhere, and it's like 2 days of just intense workshopping. Okay, here's your business. Here's the idea. How do we do it? How do we put it in place? What are the price points of what we're offering? What can we sell? All of that stuff. And it's really kind of building out a business plan and executing. Like, it's having something up before we leave. So that's the first event. It's typically a 2 to 3 day event of just workshopping, hammering all that out. Then it's a bi-weekly coaching program of, after the event, we hop on a call, because you leave with your action plan. You go take action on this thing. And then, bi-weekly, so twice a month, we hop on a call with the group or with individual, and then we're going over, okay, what did you do? What happened? What were the results? How did it go? Okay, here's what I would tweak. Here's what I do next. Here's your next steps. And you go, okay, cool. Then you execute on that for a week, and we hop on another call, and we just do that for 12 months. And then about the 6-month mark, we do another event, all expenses paid. You just got to get yourself there. And then you get there, food, room and board, all that stuff's covered. That's like a 6-month mark. We do another workshop event. We're taking a note of where your business is at, where you want it to go, and just really go to the next level from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's typically a $25,000 program, but we're going to relaunch it at $20,000. So that'll be a $20,000 program. But y'all are in a unique position where I think, like, if somebody's opened up 17 clinics, I don't know the business model. I would have to learn that from you and Bill. Man, I think you could capture that fee back, maybe like as a retainer fee out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would think those are some pretty high ticket. Like they wouldn't shake at a high dollar price tag with y'all, right?
No. And again, that's tied to the regional health center that Bill was working for. And so, I don't know where they are with it, but that's Bill's, he'll find out. for sure. He'll definitely figure it out. Plus the VP that's over that, I'm sure she's responsible for the budget for that. So um, she'll know what their budget is to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do
So,
you see do you see just based on um, we've looked at the medical industry there. That's kind of where we're going to shift our pilot toward. Do you, and I know you work with dental and all that, do you see a need for what we have out there in the world
oh yeah.
with what you're seeing, what you work with?
Yeah. Let me give you an example. Absolutely. 100%. So just last Tuesday, I got off the phone with one of the dentists that I work with. Um, and he can't hire good work. He's had 12 interviews and only 2 showed up. Everybody just no showed.
Yeah.
So there's this gap of leadership. There's this gap between there's something that he's doing wrong and there's something that he can't attract people. And then even inside of his practice, the people that are on his staff, there's this leadership gap. Like um I don't know, you take a football coach, like a great football coach, and then they retire or they move to another team or whatever. It creates this leadership void that the athletic director, the university can't replace. And there's this long cycle. Like Texas Tech University went through it with Mike Leach. Mike
Yep.
Leach left. Mike Leach was the guy that kind of started the air raid offense where everybody's throwing the football, which is what we have today.
Yep.
And the quarterbacks in Texas Tech, no name guys that they were there, they were throwing 500 yards a game, and then they're gone, and you never hear from them. They never do anything in the NFL. When Mike Leach left Texas Tech, then they haven't done anything since, right? So
And he's at Mississippi State now, right?
yeah, and I love him. I love that guy so much, man.
That's where I graduated from. So
oh my god,
only an hour and a half from there.
Well, I guess in normal COVID circumstances, would you go there and watch games?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. So next year we're gonna go to a Mississippi State game because I'm a Leach guy.
All right. Yeah,
we'll
do that.
Because he's kind of crazy, and I kind of like that.
I love his Twitter, by the way. It is hilarious.
He's the best character in college football. So anyway, I totally forgot he was at Mississippi State.
Yep.
I remember he was at Washington State, but that was last year.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but that's the same thing these dentist office are dealing with. Like, I think what happens is they get stuck in their craft. Their craft is getting in the mouth, doing the teeth, doing the cleaning, doing the crowns, doing the cavities, the mercury removal, all the stuff. The same thing with nurse practitioners, the same thing with physicians. They get stuck in their craft, which is where their focus is. That's their skill set. But there's this other element of business that they're ignoring because they don't have time. Like, think about Michelle. She doesn't have time to do all this, which is this perfect gap for you and Bill to insert yourself and go, listen, you focus on your craft. We're going to help you with the other side of the business. We'll get you squared away. So to answer your question, I saw it last week and I see it every day. And like, there's ripe opportunities. So I think what you could do is you go into one niche because you've already got a foot in the door with medical. You go in there, you give them results. Then we capture, and I'll show you in the workshop, I'll show you how to do this, but you capture their testimonials of going, oh my gosh, Benji and Bill came in, XYZ company, they're just amazing. Here's where we were before in our business. Then they came in, we used their proprietary process. And then afterwards, our business is doing better volume. Our customers are happy. Our employees are happier or whatever. And it's night and day difference where we are today. Then you can go to other industries if you choose to, show them those results and just go, we can duplicate that.
Right.
So
do you see like in those working with a dentist who's that's their craft. That's their niche, so to speak. That's what their skill set is. Do you see that they have a blind spot of seeing what the problem is?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's like they're too close to it.
Yeah.
And they can't see, but the thing you've always got to identify, if you can speak to their pain point, this is where knowing your customer better than they do comes in, because, and this is how you know them, because they have a blind spot. They can't see it. They feel the pain, but they can't see to solve the problem. I've always said that if they knew what to do, they would have done it by now. So
Exactly.
that's where you come in. If you can identify their pain point and you can push that button, like Bill can walk in to any nurse practitioner's office and he can say, "Are you tired of getting home so late that you don't get to spend time with your kids?" Instantly, they're going to cry,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
right.
Bill knows their problem, and Bill goes, "I know where you're at. Can I schedule a time for Benji and I to come in here and tell you how to solve that problem?" They're going to say yes 100% of the time, right?
Absolutely.
So the key is understanding the pain point and describing it to them in a way where they emotionally connect with what you're saying. They go, "Wow, these guys know my problem better than I do. They have to know the solution." So yeah, they're so close to it, they can't see it. So it's a blind spot.
Right.
That's where the consultant comes in, where Benji and Bill come in. They look at it from this angle and they go, "Dude, you got to pull back. Here's what you do
Right.
different."
Yeah.
And they will pay for that, because that's the only way for them to get out of that situation.
Sure. And it's just human nature too.
Yeah.
I liken it to walking outside with a flashlight and you see a set of eyes. That flashlight, a lot of times when you're a fresh face, fresh set of eyes, the obvious is glaring, you know,
Mm.
but everybody is down nose to the ground that they can't see it.
Yes.
That's also part of I can guarantee you a 20% efficiency improvement is there's obvious things that I see. My wife's work went in there. They invited me to spend a half a day with them, just to kind of pick my brain. And you know, I'm like, you've got opportunities all over the place here.
Yes.
And anyway, they've just got to be willing to be. They got to be open to it.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of things too. You talked about a dentist is working on trying to grow his business. A lot of people can't understand, how can I grow when I'm working 100 hours a week? The CPA, that I'm talking, every text is 100 hours a week, 100 hours a week. Like, you've got a process problem. You know,
Yes.
you've got a process problem, and so you talk to someone like that and say, how do you want to grow? Do you want to grow your business? Well, yeah, I'd love to grow my business, but I can't work any more hours what I'm doing. Well, what if we helped you find those hours so you can
Yeah.
grow your business? So that's kind of where we're at with the pilot, and um, we've got some other things too. There's a lot of we've got a lot of contacts. He and I are meeting with a guy in Decatur, Alabama, 2 weeks from today, who's got an $8 billion government contract, and he's wanting us to come and I said billion, by the way, not million, billion.
Yeah. I locked up in my position. I just froze.
Yeah. So I don't know what he's wanting us to come visit him. So I'm not sure. He he's he does manufacturing and building, something to do with prisons. And I
Mm.
don't know if he's uh, fabricating metal. I don't really know what he's doing. I just know he's got a big government contract. So
Wow.
there may be some opportunity there as well.
Wow. Well, if you want, what we can do, so when we get off this call, I'll send you the more info on like the coaching program, the mentorship, how we do all that. And then if you want, between now and then, we can hop on a call and kind of get clarity and kind of help you where we can before you go to that meeting. So you can have some options for that guy, depending what he wants to do. You
Yeah,
can already have some things in mind that you can offer as a service to him.
yeah,
That's contribution.
that'd be good. I know Bill's going to try to find out a little bit more about that as well. Um, I've met the guy, had a couple of conversations with him, and uh, Bill's Bill watched the national championship with him Monday night, so he's just trying to figure what's he looking to do. He
Right.
did say something about he's looking to try to scale back and work part time, and so I'm just not sure what that's going to yield, what they need help in. So,
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think to me, and I'm going to tell you my opinion and I want to know yours. To me, it looks like, Benji, that one, I don't know where it came from, but the seed that was planted inside of you that goes, I don't want to burn out. I don't want to be that guy. And then the catalyst to drive you is, it could be from, a higher power than you and in
oh
my
yeah,
opinion, I think that's what it is. And then immediately, as soon as you started on this journey, all of these things started popping up in front of you
yeah,
with
yeah.
Bill and Michelle, and then Dion, and then this guy. Do you feel that that's a sign, or that's a message?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a true believer in God. So I he would not. This, like I told you a while back. This all started in 2015. He doesn't put things in our path to distract us.
Hmm.
He just doesn't do that. That's what Satan does. He puts things in front of us to distract us. So this whole journey has really been going on now. This is its sixth year, uh, and Bill and I have talked at length about that. So which I enjoy it. I enjoy the journey. I enjoy the not. What's this going to lead to? You know, uh, but at the same time, there's a little element of fear there that the book, the War of Art, highlighted for me. But at some point in time, I'm going to have to overcome. I don't. It's not fear. It's I believe I can do it. It's more of just taking that chance, and that's why financially, that's why I'm trying to make sure I understand everything about all of that, so that when I do take that jump, I know what I've got ahead of me, you know,
Right.
and and again, something that I don't even consider when we're looking at this. My wife's she's employed, loves her job, and makes decent money. It's not like our income goes to zero. Uh, if I jump today, but yeah, I think all of this is comes about and is lining up for various reasons.
Yeah.
There's a bigger plan somewhere there.
Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's always, in my experience, I've always seen you not when it first starts, it doesn't seem like a sign. It seems like fear. It seems like,
Yeah,
all the other stuff. But then you make like it's almost like God just wants us to make one step in the direction he's trying, and he's trying to make it obvious. He's like, over
sure.
here, right?
Yeah,
We're just in our head, just all this crap. And then we make one step, and then he throws these things in front of us,
yeah,
like all of these opportunities are instantly popping up for you. And they may not come to anything, but that's not
sure.
the point. The point is that you move in the direction that you're supposed to be going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So,
got to have that faith. He's
amen.
gonna take care of me anyway. I know that.
Yes.
I gotta quit overanalyzing it. You just got to go and do it. That's one of the things I had here. On for my piece of paper for our conversation today. What if I quit today? If I told you will, I'm quitting today. What advice would you give me if I said I'm quitting today?
I say, well, I guess we're committed. Let's go. I don't know that you need any advice. I'm not saying you should quit. I think we should plan it. And I think that's what we're doing. Um, I don't think you need any advice. I think you need action in the right direction, which is these meetings with Michelle, with Dion, with the guy, the $8 billion guy. I think when you get in those conversations, like, I don't know if you experience this, but when, like, you don't, like, you walk into a party, like you're going to your wife's work party, or a friend you never met before, or whatever. Like, you're the only guy there that doesn't know anybody else. Everybody knows everybody except for you. You're the outsider. Me, at first, I'm like, I'm nervous, even
Yeah.
though I can talk, and I don't have any problem with that. At first, as soon as I open the door, I feel this instant nervousness, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, right? But then I meet one person, and we start BSing and talking, and I meet another person. Eventually, we're all friends by the time
Right.
I leave.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing on a new adventure like this. Like, you've got the skills, you've got the ability. the only thing holding you back is that you've been in this confined environment for 23 years. You've been in the
Yep.
same exact box for 23 years. All you're doing is walking into a new party, but the conversations are the same. The business problems are the same. You're just taking out the word caterpillar and the machinery and you're putting in medical stuff or you're putting in dental stuff, but it's the exact same thing. People are the same. Human nature is the same. Everything's the exact same. It's just the only thing you need is a couple of examples of new patterns in the new box for you to pick to find the pattern, and then you're it's all over. I think I think these three examples that we just talked about, Michelle Dion and the $8 billion guy, once you get through those, like you do the meetings and maybe you do a sales presentation or whatever it's going to look like, and maybe you do a couple of leadership events for their companies and their teams, you're going to see out of those three examples, that's really all you need, maybe two. You're going to see the pattern start to show itself. It's going to be triangle, square, triangle, square. You're going to hear the same story from the business owners. They're going to have the same problems that you can solve for them. Then your effort is going to go through the roof. You're going to go, oh my gosh. Then you're running on passion, which is a completely different fuel because you see the path, you know you can do it. It's just you're in this little gray area. All you need, it's like the little kid, man. You know, my son's scared of soccer, I'm scared of football, but when he's out in the field playing, he's not scared of it. We just got to get in the field. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Oh yeah.
So if you said you were going to quit today, I'd say let's schedule those appointments. Let's get the patterns in your mind as quick as possible.
Yep. Yep. Well,
but I'm not saying quit today.
I can't quit today. I've got to get I need to get that refinance done on my mortgage. I need to get that done first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't show that I quit my job, my 6-figure job, and refinancing the house.
Yeah, don't do that. And you know, it might be a good idea to do the cash out and just keep it in the bank. You know,
Yeah, I intend on doing the cash out. I talked to Tina last night. I said, look, we got to get rolling on that, and convinced her to do 30-year. I needed her to know that when I die, if I die within 30 years, she's still got, you know, when I died, she's like, well, the house ain't even paid off. You know why? So she's on board. She's on board with that. So I'm gonna get that ball rolling. I'm gonna get that ball rolling today. And yeah, I'll stick it in the bank or just whatever. And then, you know, and then when the life insurance stuff comes up and we kind of, you do your gig with the financial analysis, maybe that'll help give us some direction as to what to do with it at that moment in time.
Okay. Yeah. And we should have they reached out to Tina about scheduling?
Yeah. I think maybe next week she's getting her blood work done and all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. And I'm going to send you yours for the term insurance to replace the other one. I'm going to send yours later today.
Okay.
So you can sign it, and then I'll tell them to rush and call you, so maybe y'all can get it both done next week.
Okay. What about the 529 deal? Do I have any options with that?
Well, you can't do a whole lot once you're in it. I don't know that I would put more money into it. I would probably just let it ride on what you've got in there. You can't. Unfortunately, they put a lot of regulations on what you can move it to. I've got to call into a guy, the state of Mississippi. There might be something you can do, but I'm doubtful. So I don't think we can do anything with it. So what I would do, and what I recommend is you just don't contribute any more to that.
Okay.
What is it? The impact thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would continue doing that because there's nothing you can't really. I would just continue making the low monthly payment. I wouldn't pay it off, especially if you're about to make some moves, business wise. You want to keep as much cash on hand. I don't anticipate that you'll need the cash, but you want to have liquidity. So I would just do the monthly amount to impact, and then just do the reverse engineer it. What is it, 12 or 14 grand left?
Yeah, 14. It's 13.5, something like that. Okay.
So just, divide that by the number of months until he's going to college or whatever that is, and then just pay that a month.
Yeah, it's $211 a month. That's what I've been doing.
Okay. Yeah, I would do that. And then when we get all of the insurance and the war chest stuff done, it may make sense to take the 529 money. It doesn't matter that it's in your name inside of a war chest, you can still earmark that money inside of there for college.
I got you.
You with me on that? So we'll make a little silo in there just for that. But in the meantime, I would not continue because there's too much risk. There's no liquidity, all of that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wouldn't stop the impact thing. The impact's not, it's not bad. It's not the best, but it's still good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So so I'm contributing an additional, or I'm putting in 300 a month in the 529 right now.
Okay. So yeah, whenever we get the numbers back for Tina, we're going to do another call like this and walk by it step by step. And we're just gonna have to look at the numbers. It may make sense to keep the cash out refi in the bank. It may make sense to put some of it in the war chest. We'll just kind of have to look at it. And basically that's a math problem that we're going to use your spreadsheet on because you've got all your expenses and all your costs on there. So if you make the jump, worst case scenario, we don't have customers for 3 months, 6 months. How long can I last and not, because the thing you want to protect yourself in entrepreneurship is you don't want to get into a fear scarcity mindset. Can I pay my bills? Because that takes you out of the creative mindset of how can I serve my customers?
Yeah.
So we want to establish all of that. So the mental process is not about worry and fear and scarcity, because as men, we want to take care of our family.
Sure.
And we don't want to get stuck in that mindset of, can I take care of my family? The doubt creeps in, the worry, the fear, the uncertainty, which makes you a very bad business person.
Yeah.
So we pre-plan all of those things. We get everything set up and we just do the math. That way you stay in that creative environment where you can serve people at the highest level. And the irony of it is that if you get into the fear of scarcity, you don't make money, which perpetuates the problem. But if you get into the creative mindset, which is proper planning, then you attract money. Money's attracted to you because you're serving people at a high level. When you serve people, you get paid.
Yeah.
So we'll do all that planning once we get that stuff. And that $300 a month going to the 529, in addition to the cash out refi, we'll just find a good way to do that to, be prepared for that.
Okay. Yeah. On the war chest, I know there's a time period just watching your videos to where that money is not accessible from a borrowing standpoint. What is that time frame?
Generally, it's between the second and third year.
Okay.
So it's not too long. It's better than the 59.5 rule on a 401k.
Sure.
But it's not that long.
Yeah. And then is there a percentage of that that's only available?
Yeah, you take 90% of it, because of course,
wow.
If you take more than that, it closes the account. So there's a decent chunk, and then we'll look.
More than I expected, quite honestly.
Yeah, what were you expecting?
Well, I mean, I was expecting 30 to 50%.
Yeah.
So I know my Wells Fargo guy, he told me a while back that I've got roughly total, and I need to tell you a little bit about this, by the way.
Yeah.
But total, I've got 200,000 in my accounts at Wells Fargo. And so he's like, you have the ability to borrow 99,000 based on where you are with that. He said, if you're at if you get it up, your account's up to 250,000. So I can borrow at prime plus 3%, 99,000. If I get to 250, I can do prime plus 1.5% to borrow against it. And then he didn't say the loan amount then.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's what I was basing that 30 to 50% off of, is based on what the Wells Fargo guy told me. Now, the money that's in Wells Fargo is, I've got the 529, I've got a $28,000 mutual fund in there that is technically my mother's. We took all of her 401k stuff and rolled that over into that mutual fund back two years ago. And then the rest of the cash she had, $74,000. That's what started that brokerage account. And I'm only child. my parents were divorced when I was younger, but both of them live right there on my property. But I mean, I'm solely responsible for taking care of her, and I do. And so that money, in the grand scheme of things, that money has grown. Plus, I've contributed. That's that account in itself is $165,000 now. So she seeded it with 74,000. I contribute 1,000 a month to it, and I've plugged in 15. I dumped 15 grand in it back last year, just out of my savings, out of my checking. So point is that's technically earmarked for her and her care and well-being. Um, liquid, not, I guess it's would be considered a liquid asset. I could sell the stock and get the money
Mhm.
if needed to be. So I just wanted you to know about that. It's in my spreadsheet. That money is a combined deal of me and her, but she seeded that investment initially, and then I've just contributed to it uh, since then.
Okay. Does she have an income like Social Security, pension,
She
retirement?
does. Yeah. Yeah. She's draws Social Security off of my stepdad's. He passed away 12 years ago. So she draws his Social Security. It was higher than what she was could have drawn. She was
Okay.
still working. She worked up until 5 years ago. So uh, she draws 1,400 a month off of that, and then $136 pension from one of her previous employees. She gets employers.
Gotcha.
She's
Okay.
one of these though. She can live off $500 a month. So, you know, I
It ain't
gave
nothing like that anymore.
she sold her home here in Corinth. I'm in Corinth today, and I talked her into, and she had a health issue, and she saw why I wanted her to sell her home, and she can move in with me or build a house down there at our place. Had a health issue. She saw why, and so she sold her home to my first cousin who grew up right next to her. Perfect fit, old family land, and so I deeded her a lot right next to my house or my shop, and she took that money and built her house.
Mm.
Obviously, it'll come to me at some point in time, um, and so it's a little 1,000 square foot home. You know, it's
Yeah,
perfect for her.
that's awesome, man. Awesome. Okay. And then, is that thing paid off? Like she's got pretty
Oh
low.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's clear and free.
Okay, so the 165 is just all gravy. She's got expenses covered, the whole thing.
Yeah, that's she has no clue. I keep her debit card with me. I manage her bank account. She gets I try to keep she had 25,000 in her savings account whenever I did this investment for her. I'm like, what do you want? I don't want nothing. So, well, can I invest it for you? But it's accessible if you need it. It's gonna be yours one day anyway, so do whatever you want. So, but
Okay.
yeah, so I'll take money. Her checking account will build up, and I'll take it down and I put it into that brokerage account as well. So,
Okay. I
but
would
yeah,
say,
she's not needing. She don't need it. It's just there if we have to do some kind of long term care or anything for her, whatever. That's going to be for her for that.
okay. I would say I would do a couple of things. I would number one, I would talk with you and Bill, have a conversation about how much, like set a goal. How many customers do you want? How much money do you want to have saved up, like in a business bank account for both of you? Like we gotta start setting some guidelines of when is a good time for you. I mean, I think it's a great idea. Here's the thing. There's two sides of this. You've got money where you'll be okay for a little while, but you gotta know that you can produce income. That's the
Hmm.
real key. So you don't touch
Yep.
any of that stuff. So set a goal with you and Bill. How much do you want to charge customers? Like what services can you provide? How can you help them? What's a fair, reasonable price? Would a dentist pay 30 grand for y'all to come in and help them sure up shop, get more customers through in 45 minutes? And then can you show them that they pay you 30 grand, they make that money back in 2 months? I don't know the numbers, but if you can show them the value, then you can charge them the price.
Sure.
So, and then figure out those numbers, and then how much, set a goal, a business goal. Like, do you want to have 30,000 saved up in a business bank account? And then, whenever you hit the goal, you know that you've got the idea works and you're making money. Then that proves to you that it may be time to hang it up, because you just want to prove that it works, and you're going to be fighting like hell because you got a full-time job and you're going to be you're building your thing on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like you've got to go through that squeeze, through the pressure,
Sure.
to become the person you've got to be.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
But at different iterations, I've done that prior, and I'm aware of that. I mean, when we had our own business where we was doing the shirts and the signs and stuff, I mean, I'd have to force myself to just take a break, and so I'm good with that. I expect it and kind of want it. So,
Yeah.
in a positive way. So yeah. The good thing is Bill, two things. Number one, Bill did very well financially, and so money is not the big driver for him. He would probably get more value, quite honestly, of seeing me achieve this and being a part of that than to get his half of the cut, so to speak. But that's a good point. Um, that's a good point. Set that goal, and once we achieve that goal, then that's where we take it to the next level.
Yeah, and it's like, it's because it's a great theory, it's a great idea, but you walk in and you tell your wife you quit your job, and she's like, "You did what?" Well, yeah, because we sold 3 customers and they're paying us $15,000 each, or whatever the thing is.
Right.
She's gonna go, "Oh, damn, you should have quit a long time ago." It's
Exactly.
a totally different conversation, right?
Sure. Right.
You and Bill, I think that's what y'all need to figure out. And then that is whatever y'all decide on is the measuring stick for when it's time for you to be thinking about packing up your box. And that's just how you protect yourself best financially, but it also proves that you've got a proven business. And I believe you do. I'm just telling you that from the financial perspective, so you know it, and you're in best positioned to go full speed and hit it.
But if and it goes back to that fear scarcity thing. If I know that if I set this goal and I achieve it within the time frame that I set out, then that keeps me on that creative side.
Yep. Not
on the worry side.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I've been on both sides. I've been in both mindsets, and that's why I'm telling you this. Like, I've been there. The scarcity mindset, it'll cost you a lot of money. So you do this because then you're walking in with 100% confidence. You have to quit your job. You don't have a choice. Like, this thing's way too valuable over here. So it's a completely different mindset than I'd like to quit my job versus I have to quit my job because there's too much opportunity. Totally different mindset.
Absolutely.
So I would do that. I'll send you stuff on the mentorship and coaching thing. And then that's a lot of the coaching isn't the business stuff. I'll show you the business stuff. Chantel and I can help you on that. Like, that's easy. It's really these little bitty mindset tweaks as you go to keep you in the right frame of mind, to keep scaling, to keep going up.
Yeah.
Cause just like football, like a lot of what Nick Saban's doing is not coaching you how to play football. There's great athletes. They're great football players coming in. It's putting them in a system and process that we all together, we run and go to the highest level.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it's a totally different game than what people think it is. But I'll send you an email with that program. I think we're going to do the in-person event. I don't know where we're going to do it, and we're going to keep it really intimate. We might have 2 to 5 different people, different businesses there. That way, it's good to observe other businesses going through the same process.
Sure.
And it accelerates everybody's goal. I'll send you the information on that. I don't know where we're going to do it. But all you got to do is get to the location, and then everything's covered from that point, and then get everything in place. And then I'm also going to send you later today the term insurance for you to get your. So I think anything else, any questions or anything?
The only other thing I would like to do, I ordered another book this morning from you, the money book.
Okay.
So I I put my son's name on it, my oldest one. So 23, just started his career. Uh, well, I wouldn't call it a career. He just started his first real job. Let me say it that way. He's he's in sales right now, doing. He thinks he's rich, uh, and he's also a part-time minister, and so he's a intern with our church, youth minister, but he also preaches, especially when COVID's not. He does preaching gigs and all that. His goal in life is to be a full-time minister and a cattle farmer. He just started a cattle farming business. Well, he just officially created an LLC uh, for his farming business that he and his uncle has done since 2013. My point is he's coming out of the gate here debt free. I was able to write him a check for $6,400. That was his school money. That was I didn't spend to put him through school. And I always told him it's yours. So he's got that. Plus he's got some other money saved up, and he's probably living off of 50% of what he's making now. So point is I want to give him some good starting out guidance on you're 23, no debt. You've already got a saving mindset. Put him in the right wheelhouse so that when he's 47, he can be a preacher, a farmer, and do whatever crap he wants to do. He doesn't have to worry about the money side of things.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'd like at some point in time for us to have that conversation and see what steps we might can make with him for him.
Absolutely. And if you want, feel free to send him that course I sent you, the content
Okay.
you've got of my stuff. Feel free to share that with him so he can start learning. Um, and then we can, whenever we do hop on a call with him or whatever happens, then he's further along the trail. We can just kind of
Right.
pick from there.
Yeah. And I got to thinking, I thought, well, that book, that's a good first step
Yeah.
just to see he's, he's got a lot of similarities as I have, but math and numbers and all that is not one of them. And so I want to check his level of interest of does he want to spend time learning this, learning how to do this, or where is he at with it? So I want
Gotcha.
him. I started giving him my book, and I'm like, nope, because I want to have that to be able to reread. So I got him his own book, which I do that frequently for him anyway. So
Okay.
um,
So I'm going to trust your instinct. I'm going to follow your lead on that. So you
okay,
just, I'm down. Whatever you want to do, I'm down to help. But I'm going to trust your lead on it. The books, the approach, and then you want to send them the course or you want to schedule a Zoom call, whatever but I'm going to trust your lead on it.
okay, yeah,
Is that
I'll do that.
okay?
Um, we'll
But yeah,
see.
I'm down to help any way I can.
Awesome. He's in a good spot. If he just, I think if we set him on the right trail, he'll follow it,
Mm,
and that'll be. To me, he don't realize it, but to me, that's a great gift to him. You
yeah,
know, uh,
absolutely.
I wish that my dad had done that. Just to be honest,
Yeah.
all I was told save.
Which
Okay,
it's not wrong. I just need more information too.
yeah, I need to know how. Do you let it sit in the bank? I mean, I didn't know how. I was just told save your money. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Right.
I mean, I really don't. It's and not from standpoint of here's what you spend, save whatever. There's a whole lot more to it, obviously. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll help. We'll get him squared away. I know what it did for me at 17. I started saving seriously at 19, saving and investing at 19 years old. Man. And it's at 32 now. It's a night and day difference. It's
yeah,
just you're totally secure. You're totally set up. It's just amazing. So we'll get him on that same path.
Okay, good, excellent.
Awesome, man. Any other questions, man? Any thoughts?
Uh, no, I think we covered about everything I had. The only other thing, and I'll probably ask Alicia this, but I'll throw that bug in your ear too. The consulting business, I want to try to get set up. That way, as I'm spending money, I can start tying them to that.
Yep.
I'm also got some interest in, I got to talk to my wife about this too, but utilizing my Peyton, my son's wife, she just graduated college as well. But she has an online children's boutique. But I'm wanting to leverage her to possibly revive our sign and t-shirt business. Uh, I'll call it something different, but BDMC is what I'm going to call it, Big Daddy's Merch Company. But
I
there's
love it.
I've got I've got some ideas on the e-commerce side of things on that as well, that I think will work, and I think we can make it happen pretty quickly. But I'd like to leverage her, so she doesn't have a job, right, a full-time 8 to 5 deal right now. She's working on that.
Mhm.
But I think I might could leverage her to kind of enhance that. But that also gives an additional stream of income potentially, but it gives me some write-off opportunities as well on some of my physical assets. And then also, I still want to entertain the property side, real estate and all that. So she and I talked about those three things the other day of possible business opportunities. The bigger one, obviously, what we've been talking about here is the consulting deal.
Yep.
But if I can leverage, if I can pay, if I can save just on my utilities and all that, then in my man cave, I mean, it's like running a separate household there with my power bill. Everything is about the same as it is in my home. So, of course, I got insurance and all that. So if I can find ways to leverage that through some of these businesses and some of the other things we spend money on, that would be fantastic. So just
Wow.
throwing that out there to you as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's something that we can also talk about. Like, I mean, we'll talk about the consulting stuff with you and Bill, and then we can also dive into the t-shirt and e-commerce stuff. Chantel's really good on the e-commerce side.
Yeah.
I think that's where she's got more strength in that area than I do for sure. So there's a lot of we can do on that. So, and that might even be what we do at the event is kind of you'll kind of see a framework, and then we can just have two businesses running in line in each process. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a great
Yeah.
idea. And I love the name, Big Daddy's Merch Company. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I've already procured bigdaddysmerch.com. So uh, I did that last year.
Oh my gosh, I love it, man. I love it.
And that quite honestly came from a company in Chicago called Pro Wrestling Tees. And they make all the t-shirts for all the old guys, right? Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's
Yeah.
their biggest client. For whatever reason, WWE does not own his trademark or rights to his t-shirts, his merch.
Wow.
So the way they're set up is they do an online store. They can do it for anybody. I can pay $75 and call myself the Mass Big Daddy, and they would throw a couple designs out there on my online store. And then it's
Wow.
up to me to promote it to get people, hey, if you want my merch, hit this link. It carries me to that online store. But what they have the ability to do is they have the equipment to print one shirt at a time versus the hoodie you got on. By the way, I'm a Blue Devil as well.
I love it.
Boomville Blue Devil. But anyway, they that hoodie, you know, they want to set up those hoodies and run 50, 100. That's a Nike hoodie. Likely my wife printed that shirt, by the way. Yeah,
Wow.
with the company she works for. Um, they do all the Nike's custom embroidery, and they also do screen printing as well. But
Wow.
anyway, most t-shirt businesses want to print 50, 100, 5,000 at a time. But the 1 hour tees, pro wrestling tees, they have the equipment. You put the shirt on there and it basically prints the ink on the shirt. Same day delivery, you ship it out. So, and then you do the analytics that says, you know, our top sellers are black extra large 50/50, you know, or royal blue large 100% cotton, whatever. Do the analytics, keep that in your inventory, and then just it becomes a marketing game and a e-commerce game.
Wow.
So obviously you can't use the pro wrestling stuff, but what we've done some research a little bit, and like country music people, you big artists, you Garth Brooks is already set up with somebody, but who's the next big thing out there?
Yep.
Struggling. They're up in Nashville, you know, playing the little dive bars. They can't put $25,000 into a bunch of hoodies for their merch that if they don't sell it, that's just sunk money.
Yep.
What if I can approach them and get them signed up to be part of our brand, but they promote their own, it's their brand. I think you want the customer to think I am paying Will directly for that shirt. It may be going through somebody in China but I think it's got to come across. I'm buying it from Will because I have some kind of connection with Will. Country music, you know, the country music fans are like that. They want that connection. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off into that. I think there's opportunities there. If you're into Fortnite, if you're into country music, uh, country music, if you're into rodeo, whatever you're into, if you have a little bit of passion, you want to meet these people and you want to promote this product, I think there's some opportunity there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think there's so much opportunity there, man. I wrote that down. So we need to talk about that too. I think we can do a call with Chantel and kind of walk through some of the e-commerce idea, like your idea, and then how to implement some of that.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome, man.
you can tell my brain's been going for a while on this stuff.
Dude, I'm glad. Now it's time to make some moves, man. I
Yeah,
love it.
got to pee or get off the pot, one or the other.
I love it, man. Okay, cool. I'll send you that stuff here in a little bit, and then let's plan. Maybe we'll plan a call next week or something with
Okay.
you and Bill and Chantel, and just really start taking action. Get after it.
Okay. All
Sound
right.
like a plan?
That sounds great, man.
Awesome. Well, you have a good day, man. It's cool
All
to
right.
see you in the office.
All right. Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Take care.
See you. Bye.